You know, the Ouija board, right here in Baltimore. Fun fact,
Oh.
in case you didn't know that. Let's go to Bree. Good morning, Bree.
Morning.
So this was you, and what happened?
I was back in, I think it was high school, maybe middle school, but I was at my best friend's house, and her parents keep their drinks in the basement.
Okay.
So I went downstairs to go grab a drink, and I started talking to my friend, and I turned back around, and she's not there. So I went upstairs, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" I was like, "I was talking to you. What do you mean?" She was like, "I've been upstairs the whole time."
What?
And I saw out the side of my eye, like, a full-bodied, shadowy figure. So I thought I was talking to her. I had no idea.
Now,
And then she continues on to say, "Oh, yeah, there's such and such that we're pretty sure has been haunting this house." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Glad I just went in the basement by myself."
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the obvious Mythbusters, if you will, Bree, were we drunk when this happened, or were we sober? Because we're going to get drinks, and we're in high school, which you shouldn't.
Hey, I was in high school, John.
That's why I was making sure.
Hey,
Listen, I appreciate that. It's okay, so the shadowy figure, at least it was a happy shadow. You know what I mean?
He didn't say anything. I mean, I was nice to him, so I hope we're on good terms.
Oh, Bree, thank you so much for calling. Have a fantastic day.
Love you guys, my man.
My man.
My man.
Let's go to Lauren in D.C. So your family house had a ghost.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Okay, full warning. If I lose you, I'm sorry. I'm about to go into the garage. But, so I'm going to make this quick. Yeah, so my dad and my brother and my sister used to always tell me these stories about how they hear, like, footsteps sometimes throughout the house, like when nobody was upstairs, like they were all downstairs and they'd hear footsteps and like the stairs creaking and like it would literally sound like someone was walking.
I'm out.
So they yes.
I mean, so did they know who the ghost was or have an idea of the ghost?
No. So our house is like 100 years old, first of all.
Okay.
Definitely
No,
haunted.
so they decided to just like, I don't know where the name came from, but they decided to name him Steve White. I don't know why.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that works.
But then the crazy thing is, like, later my brother was telling us this one time he was upstairs in bed and he just had this weird feeling. So he, like, kind of woke up and turned around and, like, there was this figure, like a person standing over him,
Oh,
like
God.
looking at him sleeping.
Yes.
And it was like this dude in like a pinstripe suit and like with a pencil mustache. It was very descriptive.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "What did you do?" He was like, "I just turned back around and went to sleep."
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's
I
like,
would not sleep after that.
but it's also like, so what are you going to do? There's somebody standing over your bed. I'm like, I'm just going to pretend this didn't happen. And like, if they get me, they get me. It
Oh
is
my
what
God.
It is. Yeah.
And then my sister, she said another time, this was a completely different time, she was outside and she thought she saw a person behind the tree. So she thought it was her brothers, like our brothers messing with her. So she's like, "You gotta stop playing." And so she goes over and she saw like a guy, all the same description, like a dude with a pinstripe suit. And so she goes over and looks behind the tree, and then there was nobody there after she looked behind the tree.
Ooh,
Son
that is
of
creepy
us.
as hell.
I would
Damn it,
douse
Steve
myself
White.
in holy water. Oh my god.
Oh, Lauren, thank you for sharing the story of Steve White with us. Have a fantastic day.
Yay!
Problem, you too, my man.
My man.
My man.
All the way
Man.
Columbia, Maryland. Good morning, Alex.
Oh, good morning.
So you snuck in somewhere you shouldn't have snuck in and you saw this ghost.
Allegedly.
Okay, so
So,
you allegedly snuck in where?
Glendale Children's Hospital, which I believe is in about Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay, makes sense, sure. Is obviously
we were-
closed?
So yeah, it is closed.
Okay.
We were actually trying to go to the children's part of the hospital, but there was too many guards, so we snuck into the TB ward, which still had a bunch of their medical equipment. And literally, as we tried to step in, we had a ghost say, "Hey guys!" And we all turned around and freaked out.
Did we go any further in?
Oh, of course we did. At
Oh my
that
God.
point, we're committed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, at that point, you're there. You might as well, right? So, do we see? I mean, was it like abandoned where they still had like charts and that kind of stuff inside? What are we talking about? Allegedly.
Electrical cables were completely pulled out of the boxes and junctions everywhere.
Sure.
But there were still wires that were sparking.
Oh, that's
and
good.
we heard the bell, like the fire alarm bell, still ring from time to time. It was freaking us out.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be
Alex, Thank you for calling. Hopefully nobody followed you out of the hospital, my friend.
Thank you.
Have a great day, man. Thank
My
you.
man.
My man. Thank you for listening.
My man.
Gina, you gave us chills last week with a story of your mom talking to a ghost thinking it was you.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's good, though. No,
It was
Gina's
good.
fine. But, so there's more? What about clown pictures in crayons?
Stop it.
So, okay, so we had a clown picture that my mom got at a thrift store. I think that's
course.
separate, but it was in that house. And we had it at a previous house where me and my sister shared a room. I never liked it, so my sister got it for her new room. And every day since we moved in, she would run out of that room every night and end up in Mom's bed saying they're trying to get her.
They're trying to get her?
Yes, and she would always point to the clown picture every time Mom would go back into the room, like, trying to put her back to bed, like, it's just a nightmare.
No.
And she's like, no, that picture.
Is this
She would just point. And she was like, what, maybe 4.5,
Oh
5?
my God, no.
Gina, is this all the same house?
Ugh.
This is all
Stop
the same
it.
house.
Okay.
Why is it not up for sale?
I mean,
I know.
and then what about the
I'm in
They
chills.
tore it down. I mean, it was built in the 1800s. When we left, they tore it down because it was sold, and they built a giant yellow house on top of it. So hopefully the grounds aren't haunted. But
well,
Oh.
the
and
house itself is gone. It
Gina,
was in Lowell, Maryland.
what's the crayon story?
So it starts off worse than just crayons rolling, but there was one day I woke up, and I'm like a stickler for school, so attendance was like my goal, and I could not move. It felt like someone was pinning me down. I tried to scream for help, and I couldn't even open my mouth. It was like really freaky. For like 10 minutes, I was just stuck there, and as soon as like it felt like it just got off of me, I ran straight into the living room. I was like, okay, I'm ready for school. And my mom looked at me. She's like, you're really red. And like, she felt me. And she's like, oh, you're running a fever. I'm like, no. I'm going to school. She made me stay home that day.
Oh, no. In the haunted house?
Freak out. I would freak out.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, because I was sick, you're not allowed to play. You need to be in bed. And I'm like, oh, no. Okay.
I don't want to.
I had a little desk, and I had, like, little kid syndrome, ADHD, running back and forth.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sick. I was freaked out completely. But I had that old school boom box where you had to, like, really force the lid down, and the button would pop up, and it would click. So I had been playing, I think it was NSYNC or something stupid, and I went to change out the CD, forgot that I was changing out the CD, sat down to color. And when I'm sitting down to color, I heard that click. And I know I left it open because the CD was on the desk and I never switched it.
Oh.
So that was creepy.
Yeah.
And then I took the crayons. The crayons were in like a metal tin, like rectangular kind of contraption. It wasn't like a round or anything like that. But I put it down next to me and just like kind of stared at the CD player for a second. The tin was like a foot away from my foot. It tipped over, and the crayons, I had big fluffy carpet. They rolled about 20 feet to the other side of the room.
Oh, Gina, you actually grew up in the haunting a Hill House, Gina.
You did.
Gina, you grew
It was the creepiest.
in the
It
poor.
was the creepiest.
Wait, Gina, what city was this in again?
This was Laurel, Maryland.
All right, so if you're in Laurel and you live in off what road?
All Saints Road.
If you live up All Saints Road in Laurel and you see a giant yellow house,
Don't go there.
don't go there ever. Gina, thank you for calling. We're glad you made it out.
Definitely. I'm glad they tore it down.
Oh, yes. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for listening.
My man.
My man.
My man.
I'm going to be honest.
creeped
I don't
out.
feel any better than I did last
Me
week. We
either.
talked to Gina.
No.
Could you imagine being in a haunted house and your mom says,
Stay there with the ghost?
you're not going to school today. You got to stay
No.
unemployed. Like,
Nope.